Good evening. A Northwest doubleheader on tonight's Match of the Day, featuring a Manchester derby and champions Liverpool's trip to Burnley. We'll also bring you August Goal of the Month. And I'm joined in the studio by Danny Murphy and Theo Walcott. We're going to start with the 197th Manchester derby. Before kick-off, City remembered one of their most loved fans, boxer Ricky Hatton, whose death was announced earlier today. Guy Mowbray was at the Etihad.
Games are more special, say what you want. Of course, a game is a game, but we know how much it means for the fans. I'm a fan myself, so I know how much it means to win these games. It means a bit more. It's a bit more special, so fantastic. I'm happy.
Erling his commitment this season is unbelievable. His physicality is so strong. Make us score 2 goals. He missed another one clear. And 2 games, 7 goals is not bad.
And I must ask you, on this sad day ultimately, about Ricky Hatton, Pep.
He's so sad. He's really, really sad. And of course, on behalf of Man City, because I know how close he was, how big fan, how he's been incredible love, how be a world champion from boxing. I would like to send the comfort for, I'm pretty sure, tough moments.
We suffer goals that is clearly we can do better. The first one is in the middle of 4 guys, and we can be more aggressive in that moment because we were near the ball. The second goal, we want to recover the ball so fast that in a throw-in they have a 1-against-1. The third goal, lack of quality in the connection. People doesn't know who is going to the ball, and then the guy is free to score. So these details we can work, but then in these kind of games we need to be perfect.
Our players have a lot of pride, and they want to try to do it better in a special day. So make after the game, I will walk in front of the fans and see their faces, how happy they were alongside to us. That is what our job is. So privileged.
It's no surprise, Theo, that Erling Haaland scored in a Manchester derby. He has a fantastic record. But in terms of his performance, is that about as complete a performance as you've seen from him?
It is. We talk about a lot of the number 9s across world football at this moment in time. But for me, there's only one that stands out because he always plays to his strengths. And Erling Haaland today, complete performance. You know, we talk about Erling Haaland at times in matches when he actually doesn't get involved in the game. But what I really liked about Haaland was his start. He just showed that De Ligt, you're going to be in a fight today. Not just him, but Luke Shaw the same, but just nudges him there. And straight away, you know you're in for a game when you're against Erling Haaland. And there's obviously a lot happens, but Doku and Foden were excellent today. It helped out with his game, but this is what you expect from Erling Haaland early on. He was coming deep. He was showing his power, his presence. He's, like Pep was just saying there, physicality at this moment in time for me, he's in probably the best shape he could be right now. Maybe just a short there of his touch, but look, not just that, I talk about complete players. He's a player, he's a winner. He wants to help his team in this situation as well, where we talk about the best finishers in the world, but he's back here defending for his team. In the Man United derby, he knows how important it is for the squad right now. And you see here, he's heading it, but he's getting up. And I love this. This is what Erling Haaland's all about now, where he always occupies the centre-half in these positions, and he just feeds off it. It was early on in the season, he always does this, but just the finish, you expect it now. You always expect these finishes. And it's the strength and the power, and he always finds a weakness in any team. And Luke Shaw was that weakness today. And that goal showed it for me. This one here was probably shocked a lot of people, me included, to be fair. Danny, we actually said maybe he should have scored this one, but look, you can have that. We can give him that opportunity. But this is what I was saying about coming deep and being involved in the game, a bit different. Again, he just nudges Luke Shaw there. That shows the weakness in the team, but causing it deep, and he can do this other side of it as well by when you have someone like Reinders making deep runs. It can really affect Man City in a different way. But what I really like here is that it's the last finish, because this is all what we see. We talk about forwards having a picture in your head before you finish, and he already knows where he's going to go. And it's one of those where you overthink things. He's not an overthinker as a forward. He's one of the best. And what I like about his finish is the third touch. It's out of his feet. He knows exactly what he's doing. The little look. And for me, complete forward position today. Incredible. And you look at his touches in the map, particularly in the box, compared to Šeško right now. None for Šeško. So for me, he's got to look at Erling Haaland, look at his attributes and his physicality, like Pep was saying, and he needs more of that. But that just shows for me, Šeško needs to learn a lot from him. But 11 goals as well in 6 games. I know, of course, it was against Moldova, but however, they all count. So for me, Erling Haaland, it's moment of time.
Erling
is
Haaland
world's
will
best.
definitely be counting them.
Yes.
And he'll be counting his goals in Manchester derbies as well, because since he joined Manchester City, there have been 8 goals in Manchester derbies. In that same time, Manchester United as a team have managed 8 goals from 38 different players. But the other player on that list that was playing today was Phil Foden. He's got 7. He's not too far behind Haaland. He loves a Manchester derby. And how important was he in today's win for City?
He was outstanding, and I think irrelevant of your allegiances, if you love watching creative football, Foden at his best is a real joy to watch. He was growing in confidence, especially after the goal, the flicks, the tricks, the awareness, playing in his favourite position where he could float about and make things happen. I don't know why he didn't hit the heights last season, maybe lost a bit of confidence, maybe some injuries, competition for places. All these things can factor in for a young player. But today he got the opportunity. There's been injuries for Marmoush and Turkey, and he's grasped it with both hands. And when he plays like that, he makes the decision easy for Pep. And it's great to see. I'm pleased for him.
After back-to-back defeats for City before the international break, is this a reset win, a reset performance, Theo?
Yeah, and I think it is. I think it's probably the perfect game coming off an international break when you look at the amount of players that you don't get to work with as well. But for me, it's no bigger game to get yourself up for as a player. So when you're playing against Man United, it was always an important game for any player and any team. But it's really important for Pep Guardiola to get results, because we don't expect him to lose this many and then to still be able to actually compete in the league. Of course, they still finished quite, reasonably quite strong, I think, last year. But I think it's a big season. It's a big change now in the dynamic at Man City. You look at the goalkeeper and certain players that have come in. But for me, Man City are still a problem, I'd
You
say.
mentioned
Absolutely.
the goalkeeper as well. Both of these sides have new goalkeepers. Manchester United chose not to go with Lamans, but Gigi Donnarumma started for Manchester City. He will have tougher tests. He'll have busier days in the Manchester City goal. But how would you assess his first performance?
Well, he did a couple of brilliant things. We know his qualities. He's a Champions League winner. This save here from Mbeumo at 2-0 is so important, because if United score there, the momentum changes. It's just the huge frame. Look at the width he gets and his fingertips. It's a phenomenal save. And exactly why they decided to bring him in, because he is more experienced than Trafford. He's got more presence. I think a brilliant goalkeeper can be the difference, 8, 9, 10 points even in a season.
Yeah.
What about Manchester United? It's been a really poor start to the season for them. There's lots of criticism of Ruben Amorim's shape. We heard a lot about this before he came in as Manchester United manager. We know what's on the ticket when he came into the Premier League. Is this a cause of their problems?
At times, I'm not a big fan of the shape, but I have to say I've seen all of their first 4 games, and I think it's improved. They look more compact. They look like they know what they're doing more. Their bigger problem, they're not as easy to play through. Their bigger problem in recent weeks has been the individuals he's playing in those in the wrong positions, in that shape. For me, Bruno being a great example, has been one of Europe's best number 10s, now asking him to be an 8 and do defensive work and spot danger, which he just doesn't do very well. Shaw, a centre-half, another one. I'm going to go through the 2 goals and show you what I mean. There's the shape, the 3 with the 2 wing-backs, the 2 in midfield and the 3. So the 3-4-3, if you like. Ugarte's in a good position. He should know better, but he's so keen to try and get the ball. He's always stepping out. When you step out and you play in that middle of the park, good teams find that space, that little pocket we talk about. Look at the top of your picture. Fernandes has got Foden, no problem. Doku gets the turn. Luke Shaw in a central play. Now, this is bad defending whether you're a left-back or a centre-half, don't get me wrong. But he's too square and it's too easy to fly by him. And as he goes by him, then you're in the box, there's problems. And Bruno, look at him ball watching. Now, I don't think Bruno's lazy. He's back in position. I just think he's so not used to spotting runners. He had the same problem at Fulham a couple of weeks ago when Emile Smith-Rowe run off the back of him. We know his quality. He's a wonderful player. But you're asking him to change his thinking on the pitch, which he hasn't played that role often enough. He still should be able to track a run. He's an intelligent footballer, but the manager's got to put players in there who do it better. There's the system again. The spaces are good, close together. There's no big areas City can take advantage of. Ugarte again jumps out of position. Why? There's no danger there. Stay with Foden. Then it's a knock-on effect. Mazraoui's late. Yoro decides he's got to win the ball back against one of the strongest players at rolling you in the league. And there's the physicality we're talking about. And Theo mentioned Shaw at centre-half. De Ligt struggling a bit for pace against one of the best centre-forwards, don't get me wrong, in the world. But Amorim, if he wants to play that system, can't put round pegs in square holes. You've got to have players who understand the role. If you are a holding midfielder in that system, you've got to track runners and you've got to spot danger. And we know Bruno's better in forward position. So the manager has to take some responsibility. But in terms of just blaming the system, no. I think the people playing in the system, Palace play it well. They're a more pragmatic side than United, granted. But I think you pick players in those positions that can do the job. Don't shoehorn them in.
How is it when a manager comes in with a very, very distinct philosophy and tries to put players in those positions, but it's not necessarily playing to their strengths, Theo?
Yeah, no, I can really relate. When I was asked to do something that I mean, I could try and do it, but you're talking about my profile player coming into the number 10 into the pockets and then backed against the play, and that's not my game. But I will do it for you, and that's the issue now that Danny was saying about managers and systems. You put in personnel just so they could fit it, but you're actually forgetting about their strengths. And we talk about, obviously, my strength was always pace. But why would you want me in the number 10 position? It's like, Danny, would you have yourself making those runs in behind? You're just not going to do it. So why ask players to do things that they can't? But it's not saying they can't do it. It's just an issue right now at the moment in time for Man United. It's not clicking for them.
Danny's face suggests that maybe he thinks he can.
Got a bit of pace.
And it's Michael Owen, Owen Hargreaves, Joleon Lescott and Peter Schmeichel. What a five-a-side team. Right, here at the Etihad.
Where
Manchester,
are you playing?
Not in goal. Here at the Etihad, the 197th Manchester derby went the way of City.
Just little open up, yard or so, and then it opens that first corner.
8 Premier League derby goals now for Erling Haaland. No one has more than that. And earlier on in Premier League Live, he joined us here at the pitchside desk.
Amazing. We needed this, as a club and everything. It's hard to go into national team with a loss. Say what you want. You want to keep going and turn things around. And then we went into the national team kind of like, where does this go? And then we kind of answered perfectly. So that was amazing.
Yeah, there looked the real intent right from the off from you today.
Yeah, we need energy from us to the crowd and back. We need to give each other energy. That's what we need to do. And I felt today we did that. And yeah, in the end, it's a really good performance. Of course, could be better. They could have scored, we could have scored more. But in the end, 3-0 at home is fantastic.
We've got a goal scorer here who wants to ask you about these finishes.
Well, we've been debating in terms of a goalkeeper's view on a goal and an attacker's view on a goal. I was saying that I think as soon as you picked up that first ball, you knew you were going to dink the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Or do you wait for the goalkeeper to make it almost his first move?
No, but I knew that he was. He rushes out a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. I think if you watch United, kind of. So the ball was perfect. It was perfect. You don't need to touch the ball. You just need to run with it and finish. That's the perfect ball. I call it Kevin De Bruyne pass. You don't need to do anything. Just run. And yeah, it was a perfect finish.
And for the second goal as well, you've dinked one, you've slotted one. The only other option really is to go round the goalkeeper. It was a finish I hated doing. But at what point would you think what your finish is going to be here? Because your second touch. I love the way your second to last touch. Yeah, the second to last touch almost just opened it out for a different angle to finish it.
Yeah, and I think I got a perfect bounce on it as well. It was wide open, so for me here it was about, of course, Maguire not taking me, which he is not doing, and I think to stay calm, just because I actually could have gone past him because he's so far out, but I think it was a good finish, far corner.
Perfect.
That's enough.
It's always a good finish when it goes in, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So what am I saying?
Since the change of coaching staff, have you been given more responsibility defensively? Because you seem to win a lot of headers in the own penalty box today as well.
He's always going back to defending when you've got the clean sheet.
Exactly. No, it's set pieces. I think I should be there. I'm tall. I think I've got something to give also defensively and on the set pieces. And today Bruno hit my face, I think, my head 5 times, so I felt a bit dizzy in the end. So yeah, I mean, today we had a really tall squad, I think, when you see in the back and everything, so it felt really solid, in the set pieces and everything, so that's a good thing.
And is there a different setup now? There's Donnarumma in goal, obviously his presence is seen and obvious.
Sorry, who?
Have you got a different setup now defensively with set pieces with Donnarumma in goal?
No, we try, of course, to do best as we can against Brighton, we let in a goal in Seppi, or we got a penalty against us, which isn't good enough. So you need to try to look where you can improve and where you can do things better. You know?
Just finally, Erling, what does it feel like to score in this fixture? Because you love it. Nobody else has got more goals in a Manchester Derby Premier League fixture now. You're right up there. I mean, in this fixture when it matters the most, what's that adrenaline rush like when you do it in a win like today?
No, it's amazing. Yeah, here you see Rooney and Aguero and me.
Not bad, is it?
Yeah,
you could have been top had you not hit the post. How did that not go in?
Oh, yeah, I know. I got a bit bad touch, as we spoke about, when I went past the keeper, and it was a bit too far, and then I saw the left came, so I tried to hit it, which was perfect. It went tunnel on him, past his feet. Oh, and it was irritating not to see it go in, but yeah, to score against this club is special for me. Everyone knows it. Since my first goal here 3 years ago now, I think it's a special thing, and yeah, it's a good feeling.
Good smile. Well done. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. What a day he had, and you saw those names with 8 Derby goals and also 50 Premier League home goals in 50 Premier League home games, and he's the second fastest behind Alan Shearer to that particular stat as well. Now, if he can get firing like that and Foden back like he was today as well, is that a bit more like the Manchester City that we're used to?
Definitely, and I think also the players that have been here for a long period of time, they're really important, more than ever now, to almost integrate these new signings, because just playing too many new signings at once I don't think will work so much. So the likes of Foden coming back is really music to Pep Guardiola's ears. So yeah, that was impressive today. Phil Foden coming back is a big one, because obviously the likes of Haaland have never been away. They've been consistent right the way through. But Foden's poor season last season hopefully is in the past now, and he can continue where he left off.
Yeah, Steve, we talked about the game. We talked about leadership.
We did
in the Man City team and the leaders that's left. Now Foden's come back, and you can see he's grown up. He's maturing, and he's talking a lot more than he's normally done. But there was also, I mean, obviously I was keeping an eye on that. Donnarumma plays his first game. We sat there, and he's all the time doing that, talking to them. So they've brought in more leadership, or he's been aware that he needs to bring more leadership in. And for someone like Phil Foden, who I think he was, with him and Doku, was probably the best 2 players in the Man City outfield players. I mean, he's such an important player to this team, and growing up, leading the team. I mean, he's a fantastic player, isn't he?
And at the end, when the full-time whistle went, it's a long time since I've seen you move so quickly from your seat next to me. I thought, where is he going? And there's the answer. Down to world-class Donnarumma. What was the godfather of Premier League goalkeeping saying to Donnarumma then?
No, but I've followed them in the Champions League, and I've spoken to him a lot of times. And I tell you what, he speaks English, by the way. And I've only managed to persuade him to come into an interview one time, and we had it back to the studio as well. So he was ears and everything. And I asked my first question, and he started to answer in Italian, and I had no clue. But, yeah, but we kind of, and over the last season, I kept saying to him, we want you at Man United. And he said, I'd love to come to England. I'd love to come to England.
So you failed your audition as an agent there, didn't you?
And so I went to him and said, why are you doing here? Should be the other goal, But he says, I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy here. Yeah. And he showed it. He gave it to the team today, didn't he?
I'm sure he is. Getting back to Foden, I know what a big fan of you, now De Bruyne is gone in that central area where he likes to play, where he played today, where he scored today. If he can stay injury-free and get back to the season before last, like Michael says, can that be almost like a new signing for City?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what teams pay for players now, whether you agree or not, some of the fees are ridiculous. He costs them nothing, and he's at least £100 million, but he's so special. He can speed it up, he can slow it down. He's a student of the game, he's smart, he's good with both feet. I mean, that kid is so unique in the way that he plays football, and I just thought today, last season, City lacked energy, big time. It was one of the biggest weaknesses. Having Phil in there, alongside Rodri and Mendes, I think it can give them a bit more. Even Doku, his energy was fantastic. So really delighted for Phil, because he's one of the best players we have in this country. 2 seasons ago, he was the best player in the country.
Yeah, 27 goals he got.
Amazing. So I was delighted for him, because he's a special kid.
Still only 25 years of age as well. Right, let's hear from the winning manager. His 600th game as a manager. He celebrated with a 3-0 derby. Pep Guardiola.
But we are in a situation that we didn't expect, and of course our opponents are so strong, Liverpool's, and I was to find a way to win, and of course we want to be close and have the options in February, March. They're still fighting for the title. So, but the spirit was great. It was an important derby. Our players have a lot of pride, and they want to try to do it better in a special day. So make after the game our walk in front of the fans and see their faces, how happy they were alongside to us. That is what our job is. So privileged.
What was the most pleasing thing about the performance today?
But I don't know. We have many things to improve. So still we are not a team, but step by step the victories helps a lot. So we have in the game a lot of good momentums, and the other ones we are not good enough. But always I consider so that people can say everything but the opinion I have from Ruben and for these players. So I talk about all the players we can talk. So Yalo and Vemo, in that case Bruno Fernandes. So I know when how Casemiro. So they are fantastic players, and I know there is a special. The last years always here we struggle against them. We have more results better in Old Trafford than here, but we need to have a confidence to be closer, to the on top, and now Champions League.
You've got your Phil Foden back.
Yeah,
he looks properly back.
Yeah, he play incredible. We felt it that Phil, when we play behind the striker, is so dangerous. His first control, his association. He's a guy who loves to ride to the box, half goal. Our last Premier League, Phil was the best player in the Premier League. So, and he won a lot of games for himself. And having back it's really. We need him so much.
Yeah, I mean, even for a man of his ability, Julian, he's saying it's not rocket science, is he? He couldn't wait to get Haaland fit last season, Foden fit again, Guardiola at the back today, Rodri back in the team, the last two starting it. I mean, he's got his big players, seemingly, the backbone of his team, back again.
Yeah, it's evident that when he's got his spine, they're very effective. And talking about Phil, I think one of the biggest factors is belief. I think he needs to believe that he can be the main man in this team and the most influential player. And also Pep needs to recognise that Phil's probably a bit more creative than just being a system player. Like, yes, you can give the ball to Kevin in certain areas and he creates moments of magic where Phil will just go, I'm just going to receive the ball here, turn. There's nothing really on. I'm going to create something. And I think a couple of seasons ago, he gave him the licence to do that. So I think the more you give Phil that responsibility to just win the game and create little moments that with his individual brilliance, I think that's when we'll see the best of him.
And Michael, you were making the point, how important are the likes of Foden, Haaland, Stones, Diaz, Rodri, the ones who've been here, whilst the new players are integrated into the team?
Absolutely, that's I believe that's key. I don't think there's many times you look around the Premier League over the years and see so many new signings and think and them hit the ground running. I mean, I look back at Nottingham Forest, were a team that bought loads of players, 2 or 3 seasons ago and only just survived, but then they started moulding together. There's loads of examples. I think Fulham did it a few years ago and actually went down, even though they had come back up and they tried to pay their way to stay up in the Premier League. They went down. So I think when you sign so many players, I think it's really important to still have that core. And if you can integrate them with that core, then I think they will settle a lot better. Now, the jury will be out on a few of them. Donnarumma obviously is a big tick, proven, but there will be a few of them that have been bought just in recent times, the last transfer window or two, that are still finding their feet. And it's vital for the experienced players to make them feel comfortable and almost integrate them into that team.
Yeah, it's a positive step forward today for City. They've got a week of tests now. They've got Napoli here on Thursday with Kevin De Bruyne coming back, and then Arsenal to play.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought they looked really good defensively. I think Vardy-Diaz, that's a great partnership.
They've missed Guardiola, haven't they? He's something of an unsung hero at times.
He's a great player. And actually, he is a centre-back. He played left-back, but he did a brilliant job there. I thought, again, O'Reilly was great at left-back. So, you got Donnarumma in there. You got the back four kind of set. Right-back is still an issue. But I thought Kusanov, he's athletic. He did some good bits. But on the ball, he's not really a Pep type of player. So I think having those two centre-backs in there with the keeper and Rodri, that's the basis to go and win the Premier League for sure. Yeah, I agree. I think they're the best partnership at the back.
Big call?
Which one?
No, basis to go and win the Premier League.
No, but look, to compete. Yeah, but you want it with you in goal.
No, I know.
Two centre backs and Roy in front.
I get that. I mean, you've got to look at the competition. I don't think they're not there yet to compete. I don't think they are.
No.
I think they're still too inconsistent, and it will help, yes, to have that spine. You just said that there. You know, there's still an issue on the right fullback.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a big issue.
Yeah. No. So I still think they're a little bit off. You know, they're a little bit off. They still need to do a little bit better, and I think Pep needs to be more sure about what his best 11 is, which I don't think he knows what his best 11 is, and you can see the way that he's lined his teams up in the 4 games, many changes. I don't think that helps. I think the consistency you need to win the Premier League, you need to play as many of your core players in every game, your best players, sorry, in every game.
I think he probably knows his best players in certain positions, like touching on Owen's point. I don't think he knows his best right back.
No.
I think that's a factor. I think if he was push comes to shove, would he pick his best centre half partnership? Yes, I think he knows that. I think he knows his best left back. And this is
what would you say the best centre half?
John Stones and Diaz.
Then Guardiola on the left.
Yeah, and I think them 3 pick themselves. And if one of them is not available, Eke can come in and do a very good job. But the right back scenario, I think, if they're against Salah or Vinicius Jr., the elite games, when we're talking, they're the ones that define your season. Then I don't know who he picks at right back, and I don't think he knows. I think he would pick the person in form.
But who could that be eventually? Because it won't be Kusap in a big game, will it?
No, at the moment, if it was me, it would probably be Rico Lewis.
Yeah,
because he's the most natural one that has done it for the longest time. But again, is that the answer? Who knows? But I think throughout the team, he knows a lot of his best players in certain positions. But probably right back is probably where we're potentially vulnerable.